Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, today we're going to talk about some idioms all about reading and books. Today is National Library Day. I mean, when's the last time you were in a library? I know I haven't been. I think it's been years since I've been in a public library. I mean, I think they're long past their sell-by date, meaning they've expired. But, well, some people obviously still use them, although our government is working to close them down. Let's begin with an idiom, okay? Reading between the lines, all right? So that is often used to talk about something which isn't being said, all right? So, for example, if your boss comes and says, by the way, I want you all to come in at 10 tomorrow, 10 a.m., instead of 9, and you all kind of look at him and say, okay, why? And your boss says, no reason, there's just something else happening here that means the building won't be open late. And you all kind of look at each other because you don't know why he's asking that. And you could say to each other, well, reading between the lines, I think it might be something to do with the air conditioning because the engineers have been here all week looking at it. Another example of reading between the lines might be if you're given a message, but it's not complete. For example, you receive an email and it says, Dear John, I would be grateful if you could report to the CEO's office for an update on our new strategy. And you go to your boss and you say, do you know what this is for or why I have to go to the manager's office? He might say, no, I don't know. But reading between the lines, more or less saying, I can give a really good guess. I suspect it's something to do with that project you were involved with last month. Okay, so it can be a synonym for a good guess, yeah, or thinking about everything, all things considered, it's probably X, Y, Z. Yeah. So if you hear the company is doing badly, reading between the lines, it could mean redundancies coming up as the bosses are all in meetings. But yeah, reading between the lines. So you can use that a lot, reading between the lines, when you're guessing at what's happening based upon circumstances around you. That's very good. Reading between the lines. Yeah, I like that one. I use that a lot. You know, like if a student doesn't book a second lesson with me and I'm trying to work out why, although, to be honest with you, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that. But if I do, I could probably guess or read between the lines as to why. Maybe it was something in the conversation that didn't go well. Maybe the needs of the students were not something which I could help with. Or maybe the student just didn't know what they wanted. It's also possible. So that's reading between the lines. Okay. Let's try another one. The writing's on the wall. Okay, so that's quite similar to one we had a few days ago. If the writing is on the wall, it means that the thing is doomed to fail. Okay, so we had one a few days ago which said pulling the plug, to pull the plug on something. Do you remember? Well, if the writing is on the wall, it means that its life or shelf life is very limited. Okay, so for example, the writing is on the wall for public libraries. I mean, they're not going to last much longer unless they make some kind of effort to offer another service with maybe scanned books and make themselves the middle of our community again. But I really think the writing is on the wall for them. I think another 10, 15 years, they'll be gone. The writing's also on the wall for TV companies. I think the way in which they give us media, broadcast at us 24/7, I think that'll all be gone and replaced with things like view on demand, Netflix, and all of the other streaming services we have. But for us to go looking for programs to see when they're broadcast at a certain time, I think that's all going to go. I think it's all going to be view on demand rather than the other way around. So the writing's on the wall for live TV, I think. So that's another one, writing on the wall. Okay, so there we have two, reading between the lines, writings on the wall. Let's see. So reading into something. Yeah, reading into something means when you give your interpretation of something in a way which is not intended. So someone might say, for example, if you give your opinion on something, someone might say, no, you've read that situation completely wrongly. That's not how it is at all. You've read into that in completely the wrong way. So it's usually used to criticize somebody else, like the boss read into that situation and he did not read into it very well. Okay. And the last one I've got here is a closed book. And that's all about a topic or a person that you don't know much about. Okay. So, for example, you could say something like, oh, John, oh no, he's a closed book. I don't know anything about him. British people can be a little bit strange with personal info. I used to work with a girl who didn't have any family photos on her desk at work, never ever spoke about her personal life. I worked with her for many years and knew nothing about her. That's strange. British people can be really strange with giving out personal info, even between ourselves. It's the weirdest thing. I'm the complete opposite. I'm very open. I don't really care. So yeah, you can describe someone as being a closed book. Oh yeah, John, he's a complete closed book. Or a situation as well. Oh, there's no point in asking the boss for information about our manager. It's a closed book. You won't get anything about that at all because they don't like to discuss these kind of issues. Now we are a closed book. So the writing's on the wall, reading into something, a closed book, reading between the lines. I think out of those ones, reading between the lines, the writing's on the wall, I think those are probably the two most common ones out of that list. Yeah. But yeah, I think libraries are definitely disappearing. The government's already tried to close some of our libraries, but it was met with fierce resistance and it became a major political thing. So, of course, they just dropped it. It became a real hot potato. And politicians don't like that because it makes them unpopular. So they backed off. But yeah, it's very interesting that. Very interesting. Right. Oh, by the way, this is Sophia Loren's birthday, in case you're interested. If you're not interested in learning idioms, maybe you'd like to wish Sophia Loren a very happy birthday. She lives in Switzerland now. Yeah. I think she must be quite old. I don't know. But of course, she's very, very famous. And yeah, she popped up on one of our BBC radio programs. We have this radio program called Desert Island Discs. You'll find it on the BBC's archive. They've interviewed everyone over the years. I think it started in the 60s. Well, they interviewed Sophia Loren in 2021. And in Desert Island Discs, they basically ask you, if you're stuck on a desert island, what music would you like to be stuck with? And she mentioned that she'd like to take with her I've Got You Under My Skin by Ella Fitzgerald, and Debussy's Clair de Lune, played by Tamas Vasari. Oh, very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Apparently in September 1999, she filed a lawsuit against 79 adult websites for posting altered nude photos of her. Oh, really? Oh, interesting. I had no idea that she did that kind of thing. I didn't know she was Miss Italy 1950. Well, she didn't win Miss Italy 1950. She became, I think, number 2. Yeah. And also that song, Where Do You Go to My Lovely? You know, there's a very famous British song, Where Do You Go to My Lovely, by Peter Sarsted. It was inspired by her. Oh, interesting, isn't it? I had no idea. I had no idea. And if you're interested, her autobiography is called Sophia Loren, Living and Loving, Her Own Story by A.E. Hochner. Well, that might be quite interesting. Yeah, that would be a real page turner. A page turner is an idiom to talk about a book that you can't put down. If something is a page turner, it means that you always want to be with it turning the pages. So that could be a real page turner, couldn't it? Sophia Loren. Yeah, very, very interesting that. Very interesting. She's looking good for her age. Looking good for her age. And, she's been singing as well. And, yeah, she was still winning awards up until 2021. Well, I suppose after COVID, she's resting, isn't she? Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you found this helpful. Let's talk again soon. See you. Bye.